Hello, hello, friends, and happy Monday to you. It is so nice to see you here today from Medina, New York. I'm Lynn from L&J Goods. I'm so happy you're here with us. We are a brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York. We also stream live to Facebook and YouTube. That's probably where you're watching us right now. And you can always find us at lnjgoods.com. Over on YouTube, we got tons of edited videos and all of our live sessions. You can see any of those by clicking on one of the tabs up above. And we have them categorized into playlists and all that good stuff. So today we're going to be working on a little cupboard project. And we're going to be working with the much... I don't know how to describe.
Yeah, be careful.
I don't know how to describe an inlay.
I think people have been unsure about how to use it.
Unsure. And so today we are going to work with the Annie Sloan design, custom design for Iron Orchid Designs. It was released several months ago. And I just don't think it's gotten a real fair shake. That's what I think.
Okay.
And so we're going to work on a small cupboard piece. And I also have a bigger piece downstairs that I'm going to do probably for an edited video at some point. But and we'll play around with a different color. But I'm kind of excited to do this. I've had it in my mind for a long time. And we've had this little hutch piece here. It's a little child's hutch, and it was painted white, and you know, it's just kind of like a mismatched door. The doors are a little wonky and so forth, but I just thought it needed a little bit of a makeover. It's been sitting around at the shop for quite some time, and I thought, well, today's the day we're gonna start that, Megan. How about that?
That's great.
Beautiful. So the products that we'll be using today are going to be in a
collection that I created for today. You can find it in the description up above on Facebook, down below on YouTube, or right at the top of our website, lnjgoods.com. There's a menu called Featured on Our Live Tutorials. There'll be a drop-down menu, and you can just click on today's date and the same name of today's live, and you'll find all the products that Mom is using today.
everything. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. And before we actually get started on this project, I do want to remind you that, oh my goodness, is it next week already? That it will be July.
Yep.
And we will be starting our Christmas in July lives. We'll go twice a week and do a live project, or we will do a very special Christmas sale, I think.
Well, probably not live. Probably not live.
Not live? Okay.
Probably.
All right. She's saying no. I think we're going to open a very special group.
Yes.
Yes. So, so I'm excited about that. And, yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff
Yes,
that we
it'll
want
be
to,
very Christmassy thing.
Yeah, for sure. Are we going to make Christmas cookies?
I will not be doing that.
Okay.
I will eat some if you want to make some.
Perfect. How about a cranberry punch?
Sure.
Oh, lovely. All right. So let's talk about what we'll be using today other than the inlay. I have given my piece a base coat of petticoat pink and a little bit of prairie gray mixed in that so that it wasn't quite so pink. I wanted to tone down the pink a little bit and mute that pink color. I'm not sure that it's going to be super evident on camera, but that's what I did. So I took another container and I mixed it up wherever I put my container.
What's it look like?
It looks just like this. Oh, it's over there by the sink. Sorry. I know I washed off the outside of it. So we're going to first lay out our inlay. And I've made just a couple of paper patterns here. Let me flip this down so that I didn't have to stand up here and do all of this standing. And we'll move this out of the way for a bit while we take a look at the inlay and decide how we're going to lay it out. You can see that one of the challenges I'm going to have is that this cupboard door is a little bit wonky. JR wasn't able to remove it. There were so many coats of paint on this from years and years and years of being repainted. So it just would have been more of a job than it was worth. So I want to try to make this less obvious. And it's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to be working with some trim pieces from the Classical Cameos Inlay. So I've made a couple patterns just so we could get an idea about what these would look like on the doors. And then I don't have to deal with this. I can push this aside and we will deal with that a little bit later. So I will push that over there and I'm going to bring our inlay closer to us. And
Lisa's working on a buffet today for her daughter's wedding.
oh, how fun is that, Lisa? I'm sure you're watching either on Facebook or YouTube. We would sure love it if you would, do all those things that are so important to us as a small business. And all you got to do is like, share, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment. Absolutely. We love to interact with you guys and hear your feedback. And speaking of feedback, what I did is I did a post on our Facebook page a little bit earlier today. I knew I was going to be doing this project and I was having a hard time figuring out what color paint to use. So I put a post up with these are my paint color choices. Overwhelmingly, people said pink. And I'm like, oh, yes, that would be so cool.
Yes.
And as I recall, now that I'm thinking about it, Jonathan Mark Mendez did a really lovely piece, and he did kind of a pink background on the piece that he did over on YouTube when this inlay was released. So let's take a look at what we have here and kind of dissect the whole thing. There are so many wonderful trim pieces. And so what I want to say is, I guess, if you're not into the faces, for example, you can just cut those out and you could put an IOD mold in here. You could use another inlay. You could use a bit of a transfer inside here.
I actually really like the trim pieces.
I love the trim pieces, and I love the way that they translate on furniture. Yeah. I really do. But I'm saying a lot of people, they might not dig the classic cameo look.
Very Haunted Mansion.
Is it?
Which I like. It's fun, but I don't know if I'd want it on my furniture.
Like them. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm just saying that that's an option. You can trim this out, discard this, or use it on something else, and you can put a different inlay or a different piece of an inlay, a different bit of transfer, an IOD mold, anything like that could be featured on the inside of these instead of the cameos. So that's one thing I want you to kind of get past, because I know, and I mean no disrespect to Annie who designed this, it is beautiful. I just know that one of the things that can turn people off is seeing just a front page of something, and it's like, oh, okay, I don't like that, right?
I feel like it's true. I feel like you show people that over and over again when you show them how to cut apart a transfer. It's very hard for most people to see past that as a whole image.
Yes, you're exactly right. Yes, and so that's what I want you to see here. I want you to see past these as an entire image like this that you would have to use. Because you would have to have the right style of furniture piece or the right style of decor in order to use these cameos. I think I'm going to use them on a piece that I'm doing downstairs. Today, I may remove the insides of these, of a set of these.
We have a few questions
Sure.
asking when is the next release.
Oh,
so if
my
you want to address that, just address it however you'd like to.
I know you want to know. I know. And I can tell you that I can't tell you.
And also, we don't actually know.
We really don't know.
That is the truth.
Yep. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to cut apart my trim pieces. I always do this on an inlay or a transfer that has different types of patterns and designs. I find it so much easier to work with them when I know what I have and I'm not just seeing an entire page. Again, I'm isolating each of the elements so that I know what I have to work with. And I do think it makes it so much easier to help to visualize what you got going on here. So I'm going to trim these right close to the paint pigment, and I probably would hand a sheet of these over to you, Megan, so that I'm going to have you also start cutting these, and I'll just do a couple of them so that
You have scissors?
I have something to work with. Yeah, I do.
Just adding things to our list, packing list.
Oh, I know.
As I think of, it just occurred to me, oh, we should bring the stabilizer in case we want to go live. We always forget that.
Yeah, for sure. Who's going to pack that? Oh.
Me, I'm making a list of things to pack in the store.
Oh, okay.
You're just wanting me to cut these in strips, basically?
Yeah, yes. Yep. If there's a paint line, like right here, I'm just cutting right along the edge of that pigment line.
Excess? Okay.
Yeah, just removing the excess. Yep.
Like where there's no edge at all?
Yeah, just come up close to it.
But it's okay if you want some edge.
Yeah, please. Yes. Well, you know what? No, don't worry about that. I'll deal with it as I need to. How about that?
I guess what I'm asking you is...
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Are you wanting me to cut it right so there's nothing left on the edge?
No, probably not. I mean, go
Or do you
ahead
want a
while
little
you're,
like
do a
this?
little extra. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that much
just
extra?
a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Excuse me.
Sure. All right. So the IOD release, when is it? Oh, we get this question all the time. I wish
We really don't know. We'll
I
have
wish
a
I
date.
could tell you.
We have a date when we can order it. That's all we have.
Yes. And so if we have that date, we know it's probably going to be soon.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's a similar time every year.
Exactly. So one thing you can always count on from IOD is that their releases are not going to be seasonal. And when I say seasonal, I think it's like specifically like Easter or holiday-ish or something like that. Well, I haven't finished. Other than the fall winter release, which is definitely seasonal. We always get excited about that and look forward to that. So the other two releases a year are very much classic elements, classic product that you can use on anything at any time of year. I'm looking forward to using some of the new things throughout the year. I use all of the IOD products throughout the year. And so, anyway, I just wanted to say that. I wanted to say that.
Lisa says, but you've seen it. Yes, all the stockists have now seen it.
Yes. What are you trying to
Nice
get out
try,
of me, Lisa?
Nice try,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yeah.
They've all seen it. All 800 of them.
Yeah, we've seen it. And are we excited? Of course we are. Of course. And you know, while I'm finishing this up, might be another great time to talk about for a minute or two our new shipping policy, Megan, so that it can be clarified or so people understand it a little more, a little better.
It's really not different. It's just that we've changed the tiers a little bit. We still have like a cost-based shipping tiered system. Your shipping costs are based on how much money you spend. And we have a flat rate shipping over $75. And it just has a few exclusions. Like, for instance, if you were to order a lot of Debbie's DIY paint products, that would be excluded from that rate.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, it's pretty standard. Unless it's noted on the product, it's if you spend over $75, you will get $10 flat rate shipping.
DIY products excluded if the
Yes.
shipping is more than $10 for those products. So, what would happen in that case, Megan?
I would just invoice you.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare circumstance where that would happen. You would have to order. It would have to be all DIY paint in your order.
Right.
So it's not anything to really fret about.
No. But I did
But that's all
want
listed in
to
our
talk
house.
about that for a half a minute. And so here's the thing, you guys. I mean, you can buy one paper, you can buy 50 papers, and it's essentially going to cost you the same price, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah. It's for sure because they go in an envelope. And
Yeah.
That's how it works. Well, that's just how a tiered shipping system, a cost-based shipping system works.
Right. But we're always playing around with finding the best way to get product in your hand at a thing what works for all of us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut these guys out because I will be using these. And I'm going to cut these guys out, 2 of these. And then we'll play with these a little bit. So you can see it really does help me then when I have all these separated. Like all of a sudden now I'm looking at this inlay in a whole new way.
Here's a great question from Wendy.
Okay.
What is the difference between liquid patina and Big Top?
Liquid patina is a thicker, more viscous finish. Big Top is used primarily as a sealer, like a polycrylic. It's a clear polycrylic. So that's the difference.
So what is
Liquid patina can also be added to other, paints to create like a glaze. It can be used for decoupage. I'm not sure what else to say about that other than, yeah, it's
It is
cool
confusing.
stuff.
We get that question a lot.
Yeah, it is cool stuff.
Because you can seal with it as well.
Right.
And I would say Big Top also has a more satin finish, where liquid patina is a more matte finish. Wouldn't you agree? Big Top is always in the description. It says it's between it's not just a matte finish. It does have a little sheen.
It does have a bit of a sheen, yeah.
And the patina doesn't.
Right. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take these guys apart, and then we're going to start to lay these out. I should have done this all ahead of time, right? Okie doke. Now, what I want to do is I am going to just make a little bit of a snip here. And I'm going to use my beautiful tonic recoil. And I'm going to trim this right out.
Yes, it's a transfer medium as well. That's right. The liquid patina is a transfer medium.
All right, so there we go. I've got...
Yes, Sandy, the shipping when it comes to papers and stencils can get fairly expensive, yet the weight is not great. They add up price-wise quickly. The thing is, I've been shipping a long time now, and I've done a lot of analytics that I did before I set up this new system. And it's the cost of the material and the label. So like our first tier of shipping is between $0 and $25, and it really does, like a label, the average label costs, I think, $6.67, and then the envelope costs sometimes close to $1. So it really does get up there, like very close to that $8.95 tier. We always try to keep it as low as possible for you without us losing money. So that's why I always say, like, add a bunch more papers to your envelope, or if you're thinking about it, maybe hold out until you have a few more that you can add to it. Because, of course, I would also hate to pay $8.95 when I'm just buying a $4 paper. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. But I hope I'm making sense. It costs us that same amount of money whether we're shipping that one paper or 10 papers. Yeah, somebody is spamming. I'm going to get rid of it.
Somebody's spamming? Yeah. Where? On Facebook?
Yeah.
They have been out in full force lately. All right. Is he an U.S. Army general? That's all I need to know.
Laura said, "Is there any news on the paper you did a sneak peek of the other day?"
Oh, it's
trying
coming.
to hold off ordering until it's available. I can already tell I'm going to want it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, I know. I shouldn't give you those sneak peeks, but it's lovely, and hopefully, it is shipping very soon from Italy, and we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Patty Levine said, "I just shipped a 5-pound package to Southwest Missouri, and it was $22." Yes. And we really, really try hard to get good rates. It's expensive. There's no way around it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can address...
Yes, Patty, I agree. I was thinking Haunted Mansion. She said it has like a little Disney vibe, like Hercules or one of the displays in the park. For me, it's the heads in the Haunted Mansion, which I love.
Okay, so what we can do, like, I love this pattern right here. It definitely has a very folky kind of pattern, and I'm thinking that I might like to run that. Let's see. I'm going to go like this. Oh, I'm going to cut. I hope I didn't just...
Jeanette, I just sent a package to California from Texas. 7 ounces, $33.
It's crazy, isn't it? It really is.
Okay. A lot of people saying, to be honest, this wasn't my favorite. I was nervous about this one, but I know you're going to make it great.
It's going to be awesome. Let me go back to this here.
I do think it is a lot of what you said. Just looking at the picture on the front of it is like... It's hard to get that out of your head.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to determine how I'm going to lay this out. If I'm centering, and then I've got my door opening here. So I'm not looking at what's in the inside here. I'm looking at just this part right here. Does that make sense, you guys? And I think what I do love about these two is that they really can be customized in so many ways. Do I really want to do that? Or am I going to really make this complicated for everybody? I like this going this way. Maybe I better not. Maybe I better keep this more simple. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's just put this up at the top, and I have, oops, I think I need one more of these cut, Megan, if you don't mind.
Like just that strip?
Mm-hmm. Unless I have some cut here. Well, there's one. Yeah, just this strip. And then I'm going to do this one down here. So if I do this, and again, I'm working this out with you guys as I'm doing it, but I also have a hinge there. So I might go like this. How about like this? I like that. Or I could bring this down here. But again, I'm going to be kind of in the same situation. I want to marry these two. I want these elements to connect to each other as well. So I think that that's what I'm going to do. I am going to do a piece here, and then I'll cut another piece for this side, right? And get those kind of centered up. And I'll be able to tell once I actually do some measurements. So I think I like that. I like that. Then I have this, and I have this, and then I'll want to use more of this perhaps at the top here. And I've got this left over. So this is how I work through all of this. I just try to lay it out, and that's why it helps me to cut all of these apart. And you know what, you guys? I think I might do this right in here. Look at that.
Cute.
That's what I'm going to do. But know that you can also, like I said, you could put an inlay in there of another pattern. You could do a mold. Like, oh my gosh, the primitive mold would go so well with this style, this very classic kind of almost folk arty style
Want me
of
to
some
get
of
one
this.
so you can show it?
Yeah, we could.
Kathy wants to know when these great ideas come to you. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Well, I am very much neither. I am neither one. I'm really not. I'm kind of like, I think I want to go this way up here. Okay. So I'll be honest with you. I am not a big morning person. I'm up maybe at 6. Look at, like, that's cute. Like, that sunflower could be really neat inside of this. It could be really neat. Or like this flower. There's so many different, oh my gosh. The two birds. Look at these little birds. How cute would they be in there? Adorable. So, you know, I'm usually up by, I don't know. I'm awake sometimes at 6:30, but I don't really get moving much until.
But what about your ideas? When do they come to you?
They come to me all throughout the day. Never when I'm sleeping. I know people ask that, like, oh, you must dream of this stuff. No way. Oh, my word. No. Okay, I'm liking this. It keeps it simple. And I think we need to focus on simple for this. And all the rest of it, I'm going to put aside for that other little cabinet project or cupboard project that I have downstairs. And I'll be using those in different ways. So,
Speaking of ideas in your sleep, did you ever have your sleep study?
no, I'm still waiting to hear from them. Sorry, Megan.
I'll
We're sharing a hotel room.
I'll assess.
Yes,
I'll make
okay.
an assessment.
Megan, yes. Like you did when we were in Dallas.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I've kind of got that, and what I typically do, you guys, is I will move this so you can see the whole thing. What I'll typically do is, like, I might snap a picture of this if I need to, just so that I can reference the pattern that I'm laying out. This one isn't too complicated, so I should be able to get this right on there without any issues. So I'm just going to set these aside. I'm going to pull my cabinet back over. Of course, now it's like full-blown stinking Christmas in July. Now that's all I can think about.
Melinda, yes, YouTube will have commercials unless you pay for YouTube Premium. That's just part of the thing. It's a bummer. Michelle asks, is Big Top non-yellowing?
Yes, it is. But here's what I want to talk to you about as far as non-yellowing. Because you may have a non-yellowing product, which like Fusion or Jane's, our Funkature, Rock Hard, those are non-yellowing, which means that if they are on a surface that doesn't have any potential for bleed through, it is not going to yellow out. It won't be yellow. Very often what we end up seeing in a piece or in furniture that does yellow, or a decor piece that does yellow after you apply a top coat, is the wood tannins that come up through. And those wood tannins will come up through paint. They will come up through no matter what kind of paint you use. When you put that polyacrylic on top of this, it's going to draw those wood tannins through. So I always say, just please, please, please make sure, you guys, that you are
Prepping properly.
Prepping appropriately. Do a test area.
You know what else will come up through everything yellow?
What?
Nicotine or
yes,
from cigarettes.
Yes, of
Even
course
if you think
it will.
you've scrubbed it and you don't see it, if it's there, it will come through yellow. It's crazy. Linda says her CPAP machine changed her life. I believe it. It did for my husband too, my grandma. I think it's going to be really helpful to Mom.
Yeah. So now you know all the personal stuff about me, you guys. So I'm cutting out this little area for cutting out this little area around the hinge.
Oh, Glenda won't be here for Christmas in July because she'll be in Paris. Excuse me. You can't watch YouTube internationally,
Excuse
Glenda.
me.
You can certainly log on and check things out. Glenda would like to know if you can share more about Funkature.
Funkature is also a polyacrylic, so it's a water-based finish, and it's also a marine grade varnish, which is one of the greenest, and it's one of the greenest products out there for finishes. It's literally weather resistant, heat resistant, UV resistant. JR uses it to actually, like, on his sailboat, like he has used it on the hull of his sailboat.
It's really great, especially for things that are going to be outside, exposed to the elements in any way.
So I'm trimming out.
This is going to be so cute.
I think it is going to be. So I'm trimming out right here where my little hinge is. Double checking, making sure. And see, like, the hinges are wonky. They're not even all on the same, like, plane, I guess. Is what I want to say. So that will go there. I'm going to do these like this. And what's cool is I can even add more to this later. If I decide I want to connect these with some more of the trim pieces, I can always do that.
So cute.
This.
We'll something maybe bumping the camera.
Oh, probably me. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens. Just want you to know.
Okay. Right, and so I'm going to cut here.
It's in a very tricky predicament there, trying to do that under the camera without touching it.
I know, right? I know.
Doing a great
Seriously.
job, really.
Okay. No matter what, I'm going to have to piece, but I would rather have.
Is it? Would that be considered a doll cupboard, Mom?
It's a child's hutch, so it would have been used by a child for playing. Yeah. Cutting out from
The Funkature you can only get on our website, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Elena, it's called Rock Hard Top Coat, Funkature Rock Hard Top Coat, but I will also post a link right here in the comments for you. I'll add it to the collection for today as well, since we discussed it.
What also makes this hard is I really want to make sure that that everything is lining up, and I'm standing over this at a little bit of an awkward angle, so.
So the pink is a combination of prairie gray and petticoat pink. DIY.
Yeah, I did that because I didn't want it to be too, like, kind of baby pink.
And there's some gray in this transfer too, so I think that's nice.
Okay, so let's get these on here. And of course, you know, I will also be distressing these, and I'll probably add some different waxes to these. But let's start to get our paint on there and get these inlays on.
It's cute as cute can be.
I know, isn't it adorable? I'm going to tell you, these little cupboards here, we get them. I love finding them for the shop, and they're great because they don't have to be a child's hutch. I think these are fantastic for storage in a bathroom, hanging above, you know, like putting it in above your toilet, for example. I just think they're so useful, and you know, put them in your kitchen to hold spices or something like that. You know,
Mm-hmm. Your skincare, I always think it's cute.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start applying these. So I've already got my base coat on here, and now I'm going to put another coat of paint.
This is I'm not sure I understand your question, Elena. It's not a transfer, it's an inlay. Hi, Jody.
Okay, and then we will lay this guy down. I'm just going right along the bottom edge of my drawer here.
Can you give us an idea of the ratio of petticoat to prairie gray?
So I had this much petticoat pink in my 8-ounce bottle, and I did like 2 little squirts of prairie gray. 2 little squirts.
So maybe a 3-to-1?
No, not even. No.
8-to-1?
Maybe, but I hesitate to.
Well, just start small until you see the color.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, add a little, add a little.
Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to dampen that inlay with my sponge, and I'm going to work that down in. Some people, there are some folks that do wet their inlay first. I know Jonathan Mark Mendez does that. I don't. I mean, you can. You don't have to.
Mary Jo said, I did not want to like Funkature because of its price point until I used it on my wooden silverware box after I painted it.
Yeah.
That was 1.5 years ago, and there's not a single scratch anywhere from the silverware being taken in and out on a daily basis.
It's really good stuff.
Yes.
It really is. Thank you for that.
Hey there, Shalomcito. Gilly loves the Funkature for coasters because of the marine grating. The condensation from the glass does not ruin the coaster's design.
Yep. That's true.
Or if you're making like a cute sign for outside or pots.
Yep, exactly.
But Mom even decoupages with it.
I do. I love decoupaging with it. Okay, so I'm going to lay that in. I'm going to dampen it. I'm not using my Mr. Mister with this, just because I'm working with smaller pieces, because I don't want that inlay to get all over the place. Or I don't want the paint pigment to seep and spread and get, I just don't want that mess. So, that's good. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely. All right. So go ahead and do.
Royce sprays her inlays with water.
Do you, Royce?
Becky said that Royce does.
Oh, yeah. Which side? Because I know that's always like a question too. Like, well, what side do I spray? I don't spray them.
Well, you spray at the top after you put
Right.
it down.
Are they spraying the pigment part?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Royce isn't here with us today.
I haven't seen her yet. Becky's speaking on behalf of Royce.
Okay.
Becky, you tell us. What does Royce do? I'm excited that I get to meet Royce in October.
I know. Yeah.
I was going to say I'm excited to meet Josie and Sally, but I just remembered that I did meet them when we were in California.
You're right. You did. That was, oh my gosh, how long ago was that when we were at Barbara's?
Yeah, it was so fun.
Oh, it was such a great retreat.
That would be nice, Wendy. She said it'd be helpful if the top coats like DIY and Funkature had smaller tester packs, which includes all of their top coats in one little bundle. You mean like, well, Funkature, it's all the same. It's just a difference in finish. There's a matte, a satin, and a gloss.
Yeah, and we hand pour all of that. So I don't think we could get JR to pour samples.
I mean, if someone really needed to try it to test the difference, you could reach out to me. But it's really, I mean, that's going to be the same across all polyacrylics for the most part. Matte, satin, gloss. Right, Mom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see where I made one mistake here. I did not trim off my little edge here, so I might have to piece in a little bit there. See if I can bring that closer for you to see it. So see where I didn't trim this edge off, so I didn't bring my piece completely over to the edge of the door. So that's okay. I just will need to. I just need to piece that in a bit. Sorry for the movement.
Star says she does spray hers and they turn out great.
Which side do you spray, Star?
DIY doesn't have necessarily different sheens in their top coats. She simply has the big top, which is a semi
kind of a
satin-ish,
yeah.
A little more towards matte, and then the liquid patina, which is just a whole different product.
Yeah, and Fusion, of course, has gloss and matte, and I think they might be coming out.
Oh, really?
Oh, I hope it's okay to say that.
But those two are just a really true gloss, and it's a very matte. That Fusion is a truly matte product. It's great. Like, you don't know that there's a finish there. I feel, don't you?
Right.
Ooh, good question, Rachel. I'm painting a tabletop for my kitchen. Which top coat would you use, Fusion or Rock Hard?
Rock Hard.
I would too. You're not going to worry with it. I mean, listen, the Fusion top coat is wonderful.
Oh, it is, yeah.
But the Rock Hard is just Rock Hard. It really is what it says it is.
Mm-hmm.
Marty says, the first time I saw Funkature used, Jane was doing a clay pot. She says, always apply to the inside of the pot. Use a glossy on the inside of the pot.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Very good. Maybe we'll do that tonight.
Yeah, we've got our little friends and family night tonight, and I smudged, but you know, the thing, I don't get too stressed about that because I can always come back and I can redo. I'm going to pull this up a little bit, guys, because I have to.
Sandy said she just did Royce's color class, and she's also a great teacher.
Oh, yes, Royce is a very good teacher.
Hey, Charlotte. Okay, Star said the pigment side. And then once it's down, I missed again.
Okay, gotcha. So you're kind of getting those pigments moving
before you place it.
So I'm more than likely going to have a little bit of a smudge there, but it's going to have to be okay. And you know what? If I don't get a perfect result, you know what I end up doing? I end up just distressing.
Great question, Sandy. Does rock hard streak if you're not really careful, say on a tabletop? And what would you consider the best application method?
Well, you can roll it on. You can brush it. You can roll it with one of our Stahlmeister microfiber rollers.
We also have an awesome top coat brush, zebra top coat brush.
The zebra top coat brush is my favorite.
But I feel like rock hard goes on pretty nicely.
Like, it really does.
It's not too fussy.
Mm-hmm. You can also spray it if you would.
Yeah, if you really
be
don't
so
want
inclined.
it to look. Yeah.
You know, here's the thing too. You know, one of the biggest questions we've gotten over all these years of selling paint and painting furniture and teaching people how to paint furniture. But what if I see brush strokes? Well, what if you do?
Well,
I get it.
I get wanting to minimize it, but if it's really gonna freak you out to see any at all, then you probably just shouldn't be painting your own furniture. But I do think there's a lot of things you can do to minimize it. For sure, starting with your brush. If you have a great brush.
A good brush.
And rolling it.
You can see I am seriously just eyeballing this. Hopefully my ovals are going to be straight. Somebody there will let me know if they're not.
You can't necessarily see them both on the screen. So if you want,
I mean that they're like tipping this way or that way. Like this one to me seems like it's a little bit like, but hey, whatever. I guess it just is what it is. Like I said, I don't do perfect, and maybe it's about doggone time I did start, right?
Totally. Today's the day.
Well, today's not the day. No.
I'll give you a link to that brush, Sandy, okay?
It's a beautiful brush. In fact, I sent JR home with it the other day, and he's like, that's a really nice brush. Because he had to apply a finish on something. All right, maybe we'll go ahead and dry this. See if we can see the pattern reveal itself. I'm not going to have time with you guys to do all of this today, but I will finish it off and share the beauty shots, the glamour shots. So yes, Megan and I will be at the Painters Business Association, or Painters Business Academy in Georgia with Josie and Sally, demonstrating IOD products. And excited. I'm excited about that. We're going to meet some new people, and it's always been held in Great Britain. It's a European type of thing, and I I think that this one here in the U.S. for the first time is not going to be as well attended, but I'm kind of excited about it. I know Annie Sloan is going to be there, and Brush by Brandy, Jenny Lynn and Lori Lee from Fusion Mineral Paint will be there. I'm not sure who all will be there, but I'm excited to be inspired. And I love being around people who are in the creative business and seeing if what we can glean from each other, I guess. Yeah. So with inlays, you've probably heard me say this many times before. I could leave these on here for a month, for 6 months, and still come back, wet them, and they'll release. So there's no need to rush them like I'm doing right now. I only do this for the purpose of camera or a class. The thing is before you lift, you just want to make sure that that paint is completely dry. And I can always come back if I've got areas that have where some of the inlay has missed. I can always come back. I can touch up with a paintbrush. This really does give you a really organic, nicely distressed quality to your piece. And I love that look. I think it's really beautiful. Okay, so let's take a peek. Hopefully this will be. It still feels a little cold right under there. I'm looking in the other camera screen, and oh my gosh, this is so cute already, but I can see that this is a little crooked. But if I really was stressed out about it, I've got lots more of these that I could cut out and redo this side. But I'm not going to worry about it until after I'm off camera. I'm like, oh no, it's crooked. Do you guys do that? Oh, cheapers. I try to tell myself, it's really okay. It's really okay.
It is okay.
So we'll dampen this again to loosen up the paper and the pigments. And oh my gosh, I'm loving that already. And that slightly distressed look that I'm getting. Oh, that is exactly what I wanted. Oh my gosh. Had I left this longer, I might have had a more perfect result here, but I really, really, really love this because I will be distressing this piece as well. And oh, look at those colors. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to let that sit for just a minute longer. Let's see if we can make that stick there. It could be that I didn't have a complete paint coverage there as well. I like how these ovals and some of the other elements, like this one, has like paint shading so that it almost looks 3D. there's it. Going to be a missing bit of pattern here on this side. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference, but I can always piece it in. Cool, cool, cool.
I will give you a link to that paintbrush right now.
So if you wanted to, let me just demonstrate this as well. If you wanted to, what you could do here is you could move that pigment around a little bit, just with a little bit of a wet brush. And you could very, very lightly touch that and kind of move that pigment to fill in or make it disappear like I just did. Don't do that. Sorry. Okay.
I'm just wondering if you could remind her the ratio of the polyacrylic to water when you're spraying over an inlay.
50-50. Yep.
The color of green that she has on top of the little cupboard, maybe it just looks that way on camera, but there is no green.
There's no green. Okay. So yeah, I just messed this up, but I didn't. It's all going to be distressed and have a rustic kind of quality to it. And again, I'm rushing through this just for you guys. I'm doing it all for you. And so you may, if I left this in longer, I definitely would get a better result. But I think what happened here is I didn't have paint there, but I like the way this looks. I do. I really do love this. To me, it looks less stickerish, I guess, or transfer-ish when you have okay, everybody, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's do it. Okay, okay. It's not perfect up here, but I'm okay. It's all okay. Look at that. Oh, so cool. Yeah, I can see that my oval is going a little bit off kilter there. So you guys, if you like, we can finish this on Wednesday. I can get the other inlays applied, and then I can do some distressing and finish it with wax. Would you like that? Would that be okay?
Sandy cannot wait to see the glamour shots.
Or I can just finish it on my own and take pictures and show you.
She says those trim pieces are worth the price of the ticket.
They really are, I'm telling you. They're so good. But I can even come in here with a little white paint and touch that up if I need to. Let's see how this one goes. Okay, some of that did not go into that paint. I think my paint was dry there, so let me get that down again. You know, and I think too that you think about, oh, it just seems like so much fussing and fiddling. That to me, that's what I like about this is that I can get my hands into it instead of just rubbing an inlay on. iPad storage is full. Okay.
Okay.
Did we
Just deleting things right before you went live.